Everyone was amazed and skeptical about whether Yanzi's guarantee was trustworthy. The cops were thinking, maybe Shangwan can take a day off, but on the way home, Shangwan suddenly exclaimed, "Yanzi just leaned on my chest, what a..." He decided, for fairness, I must lean back too. Yanzi thought, what a weird idea. Turning around, she saw Shangwan so close. Suddenly, everything around them seemed to pause, and all they could hear was his heart pounding like thunder. He'd never been so close to anyone of the opposite sex, and a strange feeling began to stir in his heart. The next day, Shangwan found a tearful deity and asked if he had any wishes. The deity said he just wanted to cook a feast and hoped to invite that little nurse along. Though unclear why the deity brought Yanzi, Shangwan instantly agreed at the thought of dining with his crush. But when he brought the deity to find Yanzi at the hospital, he almost slipped up. Thankfully, he realized he was still leaning on Shangwan, which was hilariously awkward. Yanzi was used to Shangwan's odd behavior and didn't think much of it. After successfully inviting her, the deity turned into a housewife, haggling over ingredients. Then he rushed back to the kitchen to showcase his skills. When Yanzi walked in, she saw a table full of delicious food and couldn't help but give Shangwan a thumbs. Yet, she was puzzled as to why there were 6 sets of chopsticks on the table when it was just the 2 of them. Shangwan didn't want to explain because there were a few ghosts nearby, so he changed the subject. But the ghosts were worried their date might go sideways. The 4 ghosts remained silent, but each had a unique style, making Shangwan seem mature one moment and adorably naive the next. Yanzi couldn't help but ask what kind of person he really was. Shangwan didn't want to lie and admitted about the resurrection. However, Yanzi thought he was lying and bluntly said she didn't like dishonest guys. After saying thanks, she turned and left. Shangwan was already fragile, and hearing Yanzi's words hit him hard, causing an emotional meltdown. She angrily accused the spirits. Without your resurrection plan, Yanzi and I wouldn't have misunderstood. Since the wish done, please leave. After saying this, Shangwan sulkily returned to her room, as if desperately trying to shake off a relationship. Next day, she woke again to find the ghost gone, leaving her empty. She went to the convenience store and bought a stack of charcoal, preparing for a continuation of her unfinished challenge. She planned to go in her car to execute her so-called perfect plan. This time the ghost didn't stop her, but just as she was about to suffocate, memories of the joyful moments with Yanzi flooded back. Those sweet snippets provided her with the courage to keep living well. She found Yanzi at the hospital and invited her for lunch, featuring the seaweed rice rolls that a lady had taught her to make. Yanzi took a bite and thought it tasted a bit off, asking, "Aren't we supposed to use spinach?" Shangwan instinctively replied, "My mom said water celery is good for the blood, so I switched to that." The moment he said that, Shangwan froze, suddenly illuminated by some memories, recalling the lessons from his mom when he was 6. It was the very same tearful lady who had been pestering him. Her scent was like a key that unlocked Shangwan's buried childhood memories. He remembered his brother being bullied by older students and the money they had saved up for a movie. Back then, his brother promised he would take him to watch anime one day. And that chubby uncle who smoked was actually his father, always waiting for him, thinking of him. Remembering that time spent with his father, especially the day he bought a new taxi. His father excitedly wanted to take the whole family to the beach, and Grandpa even borrowed a camera from the neighbor to capture the moments. But then, on the journey, a tragic accident shattered everything. Shangwan survived under his mom's protection, but due to the loss of family, he locked away all memories before the age of 6. Subtitles: those ghosts were actually his family members who had never abandoned him. Back home, seeing the empty room, Shangwan felt immense regret. After all, he was the one who had pushed them away. Just as he was overwhelmed by grief, a pair of small feet ran past, and his brother smiled at him. He pointed to a robot wrist on the desk, telling Shangwan it was a gift he had left for him. Grandpa then showed up, telling him that Yanzi was a really good girl and he ought to cherish her. Subtitles: his father also came to Shangwan's side, reminding him to study diligently while still young. "Dad, I'll teach you how to drive." You won't have any incidents on my watch. She'll always be with you." When Mum appeared, Shangwan looked like a needy child, all pouty and sad. He's like a child of 20 years past asking a small favor. "Mom, can I go along with you?" Of course, Mum didn't want that for him. "I'm sorry, I can't do that." She said a lot of comforting words, hoping that he would continue living well. At that moment, Shangwan felt like he was back in his childhood, embraced by his mother's warmth.